Welcome to the Boxing Locker. I am Matt Goddard, former professional boxer, now boxing coach. Today in this episode of my Boxing 101 series, I'm going to be taking you through the basics of boxing footwork. In the previous video I talked to you about boxing position. We're going to start off getting that locked in, and then we're going to move straight into footwork. Real easy, nothing complicated, taking you through how to move your feet in an actual boxing scenario and in all of your practice. Okay, so I get in my boxing stance and everything's correct, nicely balanced, weights evenly distributed, all of them things, right? Now, that back heel slightly raised as discussed in the boxing position video. First and foremost, we're going to work on moving forward and back, then we'll transition to left and right, then we'll do squares and circles and move on from there, okay? So I'm going to go backwards first, right? So when I take a step back, I want to move my back leg 6 inches back, and then my front leg 6 inches back. Returning to that position that I started in, all right? It's important when I step forward and back, left and right, that I don't move my front foot an inch and my back foot 6 inches, and then I end up really narrow, upright and off balance, right? I want to make sure that my weight is evenly distributed and that all of my steps are equidistant, 6 inches, 6 inches. Then I return to where I was. When I go forward, it's front foot first, back foot second, right? I follow that up. It's the same premise for Southpaw and Orthodox, forward, back. Okay, so whichever direction you're heading in is the foot that moves first, and that is something that will carry on through the rest of this movement as well. Okay, so I'm going to go forward again for 2 steps. 1, 2. Then I'm going to go backwards. 1, 2. Okay, I do the same thing in Southpaw stance. 1, 2. Backwards. 1, 2. Right? That's how we move our feet forward and back. You can pause the video now, rep that out for a couple of good minutes, get used to it, get comfortable with it, and then press play again, ready to go into the next thing. Moving on now to lateral movement. That means to the left and to the right, to the sides. Okay, so boxing stance is there again. Now I'm going to look to move to my left first by taking a step left, and then I'm going to take a step to my right. Now, remember that thing that I said earlier? Whatever direction you're moving in is the foot that moves first. So as you saw there when I went left, left foot, right foot. When I go to the right, right foot, left foot. Keeping that weight where it should be. Left, right, right, left. Left, right, right, left. Nice and easy. Again, exactly the same thing. Pause the video, spend a good 2 minutes working on those lateral steps, and then press play again, ready to jump in. Now, before we move into working in circles, which is slightly more nuanced, a little bit more complex, what we're going to do, nice simple movement in a square. Okay, so I'm going to take a step forward, a step right, a step back, and a step left. I've been in that direction, now I reverse it. I'm going to go right, forward, left, and then back, ending up where I started off. Position, nice and evenly distributed, all of those things, all of that good stuff that we talked about in the boxing positions video. Okay, so one more time, forwards, right, back, left, right, forwards, left, back. Okay, nice and simple. There we have it. Once again, pause, chuck 2 minutes of practice in, then press play, ready to go again. Now, the final way we move is in circles. Now, circles are the most utilized method of movement in a boxing ring because we're always circling around our opponent or shutting off the ring. Okay, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to start here on this rope, and I'm going to circle to that rope, and I'm going to circle back in a small semicircle so that you can sort of see what I'm doing here, right? So I'm facing this way, my opponent's in front of me. I'm going to move to my left first, so I move left foot, left foot, left foot. Now every time I step, I adjust my position to target where I'm facing. Remember, boxing position, lead foot points at the target, and then I come across to here. And then I'm going to reverse that and go right foot. Now as I step, I'm twisting slightly and adjusting that front foot to end up in the position it should be, pointing to the target, with that rear foot offset and pointed perpendicular. Okay, so I go to the left, left, turning my body around the corner and re-establishing my position, and then I go to the right, to the right, to the right, to the right. Now a good way to do this is to just chuck something on the floor and walk around it. So I can imagine my target is here in my boxing stance. I'm going to step around that target all the way to here, and then I go all the way around in exactly the same way I did in the corner, ending up front foot points at the target, rear foot perpendicular. Now, as always, with all of these things, it's exactly the same in Southpaw. movement is actually exactly the same premise, irrelevant. So when I go to my left foot moves first. When I go to my right foot moves first. So I come around here and that left foot adjusts. When I get to here, my right foot adjusts, turning my body so that I point at the target, right? There we have it, guys, the basic fundamentals of your footwork. Take your time to practice each of those. Try not to progress onto the next one until you're comfortable with the first one, right? So start off with your movement forward and back. Then we move left and right in straight lines. Then we move in squares. And then we start to circle, okay? That's when you really feel more comfortable with your movement. Make sure that you practice it again and again and again. Thousands and thousands of repetition of this kind of stuff. That's the only way to create that muscle memory that means you can perform under pressure. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you again for the next video. Have a great day.